Okay, over to you, James. Go ahead.
Hi, Chris. How's life in the bubble in South Africa? I mean, it looks terrible.
I was just saying, you guys got a great mountain shot in the back. Hope you don't get too jealous. But no, it's been good being back with the group. Good seeing all the boys again. The vibe, the energy, everything that this team brings is exactly how the bubble has been so far. So yeah, good to be back. Can't wait to get started.
Yeah, over the next 12 months, the focus is going to turn very much to T20 in the build-up to the World Cup in India. Are you excited by what lies ahead?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think if you weren't excited, you wonder if you're a human being. It's natural to get excited, especially off the back of everything that happened in 2019 as well. The standards that we obviously continue to set for ourselves, and yeah, just gearing up to a big tournament again is a process, you know, and that starts with day-to-day run-ins of the team, one series at a time, one game at a time, which is a lot of what we've focused on to get ourselves to this point. So yeah, exciting times.
And for you personally, do you feel like you've nailed down your spot in this starting 11 yet, or is that the goal as you move forward?
That's always my goal. I don't really draw myself into thinking about that too much. I just try to stay in the moment as much as possible and play like it's my first game every time, to give that type of intensity, to stay on my toes. I mean, in general, the squad has great depth now. Guys are getting more and more experienced, and we continue to push each other, which I think can only be good for the team. So I just want to view it as just continuing my journey and continuing to try and nail down a spot in the team.
Can I just ask you a couple of broader questions? Mark Boucher revealed South Africa won't take a knee during the series. They feel they've done what they needed to do in that respect. Do you agree?
Sorry, can you repeat that again? I just lost you in between, just after Mark.
Yeah, South Africa have said they're not going to take a knee during this series. They feel they've done what they needed to do in that respect. I just wonder if you agree with that.
I think the situation is very individual. I've spoken on the topic a little bit recently as well, and I think that a lot of the real honest work going on around the matter will be done in private. The real change will come through a lot of those real conversations that you have one-on-one with people in terms of education, etc. So if that's what them as an organization believe in, then I don't think it should be judged from any point of view. It's their personal decision, so we can just move on.
Do you think taking a knee still has an impact?
Yeah, 100%. But I'm quite open-minded around the topic in terms of the different types of work that can be done. Obviously, the taking the knee is something very visual that people see, especially when they turn on sport and what's not. But personally, I'm a big believer in a lot of the real conversations that are happening behind the scenes, especially amongst our group as an England team. Because obviously we come from so many different backgrounds, and the matter is at the forefront of everyone's mind, and the type of questions that are being provoked and the type of real conversations that are happening behind the scenes, I think, is where a lot of the real change would come about.
And finally, for me, just on that note, a big issue this week that's been highlighted is lack of diversity when it comes to non-white umpires in the English game. Why do you think cricket's still lagging behind when it comes to diversity?
I think first and foremost, the situation is what it is, and obviously we recognize that there's always more that we all can do as human beings, you know, and obviously especially as an organization, and that's just being brutally honest. But it's not so much about looking back at this point for me, because you can't change the past. All you can do is try and affect everything that's coming in the future, It's an area that has been highlighted. So obviously time will tell in terms of the impact that we can have as a society going forward to change that dynamic.
Thanks, James.
Sorry. Can I just follow up quickly on that?
We're going to move on. Scott from
Thanks,
Sport. We haven't got that's all.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris. You're just 2 wickets away now from Stuart Broad's record for the most wickets by an England player in T20 cricket. Is that those sort of target stuff you think about, or is that something you reflect on later on in your career?
I think the latter for sure, because to get to this point, it's not anything I've thought about. It's actually crept up on me a little bit. On a day-to-day basis, I just try to give everything I can for the team and towards a winning cause. And if wickets is a part of that, and runs is a part of that, and what's not, then so be it. I'm always happy to contribute to the team with the bat, with the ball in the field, off the field, any way I can to continue to allow this team to keep moving forward. So, yeah, as I said, the latter is not totally at the forefront of my mind.
And you spoke earlier about not really thinking about your place in the side. So the fact that someone who potentially could break the record for the most T20 wickets in this series, it doesn't feel like they've got their place in the side. Does that show you how strong this England side is?
Yeah, my point exactly. I think it's not the best headspace for me anyway. I'm someone that likes to obviously stay on my toes, keep my standards up on a day-to-day basis, not get too comfortable, because I feel like that's when I can bring out the best in myself, you know. So it's something I've worked on mentally a lot, to stay in that headspace, and yeah, long may that continue. But yeah, to add to your point, it really does speak volumes for the depth of the side. You just have to look at how many guys were just involved in the latest IPL edition, and not only involved but doing well as well. So the more depth, the more options that the selectors and the captain and the coach can have, I think it's only better for the team.
You mentioned the IPL there, playing against the likes of Kagisa Rabada, Anrich Nortje, Quinton de Kock. Does that give you a slight advantage heading into the series, knowing you've already faced these guys?
I wouldn't say a slight advantage. Like, players that you just called a quality players, and they can win a game for their team single-handedly on any given day. You know, I think the mindset I've got myself into and the team have got themselves into as well is about dealing on day-to-day basis, assessing conditions, assessing situations in that moment, and just trying to get the best of them, you know. So yeah, that's just the answer to that question.
And I mentioned the 2 South African seamers there. You've also got yourself, Jofra and Mark. How exciting is it to be a fast bowler in 2020?
Yeah, it's really exciting. Obviously, T20 has been talked about as a batsman's game from the inception, really. So it's just nice to see a few more fast bowlers getting the recognition, and really staking the claim in this format.
Cheers, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go with John Etheridge and then Andrew Miller, and then we'll finish with Lawrence Booth.
Morning. Do you still feel or regard yourself as England's go-to death bowler in T20s?
Well, obviously I've bowled in this situation quite a lot, so I've sort of shaped my mind to try to be the man in that situation and win the game for the team. Whether playing for England or anyone else, but England obviously especially, I try to shape my mind in that sense so that I can remain as nice and calm in those situations as possible. But I think that just touching on the last point as well, the depth that we have in the squad, the type of defensive skills and the type of skill level that is coming through the squad now is so brilliant that everyone in the bowling lineup can bowl in any phase of the game, and that's only a strong position for Morgie to be in, to know that he can call on anyone at any given time and they can do a job.
Yeah, and you talk about depth. I mean, in this squad, Reece Topley's come back in as a left arm option. Sam Curran is there as an all-rounder. There's always somebody sort of breathing down your neck, trying to grab your place, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. That's sport. That's international sport, especially, and it's the reason why we feel as though we're in a strong position as a team. You know, because that rivalry is obviously in good spirits as well. We push each other every day in training. No training session is ever going through the emotions. Everything, the intensity is up. We're trying to raise the bar all the time and continue to set trends and stuff like that. So to have other guys waiting in the wings does keep you on your toes, but I think it's healthy.
Okay, Andrew and then Lawrence, one each, please.
Hi, Chris. Just looking back on your IPL, I mean, obviously you had a pretty tough start, some rough treatment in those early games. You really came back strongly, and it certainly seemed from the outside as though you did it by sticking to what you know. A lot of guys seem to sort of give up on their variations, sort of go for outright pace, I guess. But you seem to keep trying to nail the Yorker, etc., and came through. I mean, can you talk through your thought processes and your experiences of coming through that challenge?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the thing is, the nature of T20 cricket is that as long as you're bowling T20 cricket, that those kind of things are liable to happen because the quality of batsmen, the quality of hitters out there is unbelievable. And sometimes you can go back through your spell and look at your execution and think, well, actually my execution wasn't too far off. The batter got the best of me on the day, you know. So over a period of time, I just tried to judge myself on execution as much as possible and not end result, just so that I can keep my emotions as level as possible. I mean, especially because the more I play T20 cricket, the more I'm a big believer in sticking to your strengths and trusting your strengths as much as possible, because some of the batters and the quality of hitters out there can make you doubt them at times. But yeah, as I said, it was a little bit of a tough start for our team in general. But we all showed good character to bounce back and make a late push for the playoffs. And yeah, I was glad to be a part of that.
Thanks, Andrew. Last one, Lawrence, please.
Hi, Chris. You're a regular now in these overseas T20 franchise tournaments. Do you feel you come back from each one a sort of better player than when you left? And what specifically did you feel you learned this time at the IPL?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the nature of my character anyway, because I come across new players, I come across new coaches, and I've got pretty good at filtering information. So I always try to learn something and take, even if I can take just one thing to add to my game, to sort of build up myself as a player and build up my profile as well. So, but yeah, just touching on the IPL, for instance, just finding different ways to possibly bowl at the death, bowl into different fields, just adding one or two other things to your arsenal as well. Like I also added another slow ball as well to my repertoire. So from that point of view, it's great to play with other international stars and play with different minds as well to keep adding things to your game and keep continue to try to evolve as a player as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone. Appreciate it. Catch you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.